Yo, what's good, Marvin Garden enthusiasts? So listen, the XFL has became a thing again. You know what I'm saying? The XFL, if y'all didn't know, I think Vince McMahon started that shit like in 2001 or something, sometime around there. And yeah, bro, it was more like scripted back then. I don't know how to explain it exactly. But yeah, they came back twice. They came back once in 2020, but they had to cancel that shit due to COVID. And or no, they came back three times basically. But so we got meet the most disastrous football league ever. So this is actually not the XFL or the USFL. This is the World Football League. This happened I don't even know when, bro. But let's go ahead and check it out, man. I don't think no league could compete with the NFL unless it's like in the spring,
Over 40
I think.
years ago, a man by the name of Gary Davidson announced on October 7th,
Spring football is actually
the creation
cool, man,
of
because
the World Football League. It was going to be a 12-team format that was set to kick off in July of 1974. Honestly, this seemed like the perfect
Damn, the
time to compete
70s.
with the NFL. In the spring of 1974, players were threatening to go on strikes due to disagreements with NFL owners. Even if it seemed small, this startup league had a fighting chance.
Hi, I'm Earl Herman, and welcome to the new game in town, the World Football League. Last night
Damn.
at approximately 8:08 p.m., this football was kicked off in Orlando, Florida, launching the start of the WFL.
This league claimed it was going to take American football onto a worldwide stage.
Did they try and
with the
compete with the
championship
NFL
game
during the
being
NFL
called the
season?
World
Because that's just stupid. That's just stupid. You're just asking to lose ratings or to
Yet,
lose
the
viewers. You know what I'm saying?
furthest the WFL ever reached was placing a team in Hawaii. Get this, they were called the Hawaiians. I just thought some of these team names were odd. The Birmingham Americans, the Detroit Wheels, the Philadelphia Bell, and a variety of others. Oh look, the Houston Texans. Yeah, the modern NFL
Oh, shit.
expansion team would later adopt the name. There's actually a few others that have stuck in other sports. The Charlotte Hornets, the Memphis Grizzlies, and the Chicago Fire. There was quite a bit of differences between
Chicago
the World
Fire.
Football League and the NFL. Here are some of the differences. Overtime was divided into two halves of 7.5 minutes, each starting with a kickoff by one of the teams, which I personally think this is a better system than what the NFL has today. On the field, the WFL went with yellow footballs and flashy uniforms. The league also wanted to experiment with color-coded pants.
What the
based
fuck?
on
That
player
just looks
positions.
stupid,
This
man.
never really took off, but that would have been something. At the end of the season, they presented the MVP with a cash prize of $10,000. They actually placed it on center field
Okay.
in $1 bills. But my favorite thing has to be what they used to measure first downs. Instead of sticks and chains, they used a device called a dicker rod. Apparently designed for convenience, the device was
What the
2.5
fuck?
yards long. It only needed one person to run it, instead of a full chain crew. Imagine a ball carrier gets tackled close to the first down, and the announcer's got to be like, "It looks to be real close. Here comes out the dicker rod." Because finding 3 people to run a chain crew isn't all that difficult, sadly, the dicker rod never caught on.
Yeah, bro, that's stupid.
To build up the teams in the beginning, the league held a college draft. The first 6 rounds were held on January 22nd, 1974, with the remaining 30 rounds 2 weeks later. For a startup league, the WFL actually had excellent talent. A lot of dudes spent time in the NFL, whether it was before or after this league. Just to name a few, Alfred Jenkins became an all-pro receiver for the Falcons. Jack Dolbin started in a Super Bowl for the Broncos. In my last video, I mentioned Hall of Famer and reigning Super Bowl MVP Larry Zonka and a few of his teammates played in the WFL. Zonka said he was getting paid $50K a year to play for the Dolphins, and when the WFL offered him $3.5 million over 2 years, he couldn't say no. Another Hall of Famer who joined the league was Ken Stabler. And you ever
Oh,
heard
Ken
of Vince
Stabler was in that
Papale
shit?
from the movie Invincible? He actually got a start in the WFL and made the first catch in league history. To kick off the inaugural season, the WFL showed major
Ken
promise.
Stabler?
Early attendance numbers were actually very impressive. Celebrities were even showing up to games.
Damn.
Names like Burt Reynolds and Elvis Presley. The Philadelphia Bell
Damn.
pulled in 55,000 for their home opener.
Holy
and over
shit!
64,000 for their second home game. But this turned out to be pseudo-success. The league found out later the team had been lying about how many tickets they had sold. It turned out the team had only sold 13,000 in their first game and just over 5,000 in the second.
Damn.
They had just let thousands of people pour into the game
Damn.
for free. This ended up turning away
They got in
investors and
for
sponsors
free
and completely ruining the league's credibility. This was probably the turning point of this league. There was a game later for the bell that season where they only had 750 fans show up. Here's the truth about teams in the WFL. Several of the 12 teams paid way less than the original franchise fee required. This resulted in teams being completely underfunded and not being able to meet the most basic necessities.
Fuck.
Here are some sad and harsh realities of some of these teams. Only 3 teams could even pay their players every week. The Florida Blazers lived off of McDonald's meal vouchers after not being paid for 3 months.
Damn.
The Portland Storm were reportedly being fed by sympathetic fans.
What
when
the
the Hornets
fuck?
couldn't pay their laundry bill, they had their jerseys impounded, so they couldn't play. The Detroit Wheels didn't have enough money to buy athletic tape. They ran out in the middle of a game.
Holy shit.
And luckily for them, there was a guy who donated enough for them to finish the game. There were multiple teams who relocated mid-season, one of them being Jacksonville, which was the team that was supposed to host the World Bowl. Due to this, they had to try and relocate the championship game, and the start of the playoffs didn't go much better. The Hornets, the second place team in the East, only sold 1,000 tickets for their first game, and due to not reaching financial requirements, dropped out of the postseason entirely.
Holy shit.
What's supposed to be the climax of the season
They had to
was
drop out
truly
of the whole
mediocre
fucking
at best. The World Bowl
postseason.
between the Americans and the Blazers. Both teams hadn't been paid in weeks. The Americans almost didn't show up to the game until they were promised rings if they won. The stadium
Damn.
wasn't even half full. It was just not the most hyped up of games. The Americans ended up winning. And while they were celebrating on the field with their trophy, the sheriff's department was going through their locker room confiscating everything they could find.
What the fuck?
And literally right after their celebration, they had their uniforms repossessed to help pay off team
Holy
debt.
shit. Damn, bro.
Somehow the league came back the next season and didn't show any improvement. Even though
Came
they had
back
more
another
NFL
season?
talent, they had less teams, and the league was just less relevant.
What?
And the WFL folded before the end of the season.
Damn.
Years later, with old stadiums left in ruins, in a last desperate attempt for a merger, the Memphis owner filed a lawsuit against the NFL, arguing they had violated antitrust laws and should be allowed to be in the NFL.
What the fuck?
They didn't win the case. Ironically,
Yeah.
with a league that wanted to be known for more than football in America and expand worldwide, their only champion ever would be a team with the nickname Americans.
I think the last 5 games we didn't get paid for. We continued to play with reservations.
Bad for some of the other kids that were. A lot of guys played for free.
Shit.
I got a tough
Dude,
game to
imagine
play
playing for free. They didn't even have athletic tape. Yeah, bro, that's crazy, man. What do y'all think is going to happen with the XFL? Do you think they're going to take off? Or who knows, man? I don't think any league can compete with the NFL. But I think springtime football, I could, that's something I could get behind. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it will take off. You never know. But we'll see y'all next time. I'm out.